Right. Sorry, Manuel, I'm in your space.
Oh, you're good.
You're so high tech, Tobin.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'm glad I can fool you. Okay, so what I'm going to cover is just a real quick review of the materials, how to set up at home, and then how to print one paper stencil today, okay? If time allows, I'm going to let you also print. So you'll be able to practice right here, not you online, sorry folks, but if you're in the studio. We have materials ready to go, ready to pick up. So right at the end of this session, you'll be able to pick up the kits that Denise has just assembled with you, okay? The kit is going to have, it will have a screen, like I think I've already showed you. It's going to have a brand new squeegee, a 10-inch squeegee. It will have your blue tape, plus a stack of paper that's worked mostly for the first project, okay? It's also going to have a box of clamps, so you're going to get a box of clamps as well, all right?
Is that tape special, Tobin?
Huh?
Is the blue tape special?
It is special tape, yes. And you're also going to get a glue stick, and I think that's, oh, you're going to get tons of freezer wrap, 3 yards of freezer wrap, okay?
And a flip guide.
And a flip guide, a Mylar flip guide, so you're getting the whole deal, all right? I think one thing that we want to talk about just really quickly, and if you haven't seen that marvelous video, we have to talk about cutting your paper stencil out of your freezer wrap, all right? And I'll do that really quickly, and then we have to learn how to attach it to the screen, all right? So those are the two things that you want to see. Quickly cutting. You take your freezer wrap, and you notice it has a shiny side, I think you can see that, and a matte side, all right? If you're tracing or drawing, it's easier to draw on the matte side, you know, because a pencil will make a much better mark than on the shiny side. Shiny side is hard to draw on. If you're using a Sharpie, you can draw on it easily, okay? But what you need to know, if I'm working on the matte side, the non-shiny side, it's going to be reversed, okay? So if you're doing any type, any font, make sure you draw backwards, okay? Just so you know. Because when you cut it out and you put it on your screen, your text will be backwards if you don't do it, if you don't reverse on the back. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? The shiny side is going to attach to the back of my screen. So these are things we have to get used to doing. What is the front? What is the back of the screen? Okay? So we have to know, this is the back of my screen. So here's the screen. Here's the front. This is the squeegee side. It's also the front. Some people call it the face. And there's the back of your screen. It's the flat side. Okay? Just get really familiar with that. All right? So I'm going to be cutting over a cutting mat. You don't need one of these. You can cut over cardboard, but a cutting mat really helps to save your blade. I'm using an X-Acto knife. You've seen this. I don't really need to go into detail about it. Just cut carefully and slowly. Don't cut your fingers. All right? And avoid overcuts as much as you can. I know this is a little repetition from that 1950s style video, but I just want to show you a little bit, okay? So I'm doing a simple shape. I'm going to avoid overcuts, little slices that go beyond, all right? And let me know if you can't hear me. I'm going to keep saying that. All right, so I'm just cutting my nice little shape. I'm not even staying in the lines because I have this wonderful, nice, sort of organic, curvilinear shape. It's my go-to funny shapes. Hey, Denise, could you hand me a screen? A brand new one.
Okay.
All right, thank you. That's the only thing I need. All right. There. So when I cut my shapes, I also save the cutout. I always save all my cutouts, all right? Because it's this that I'm going to be using and attaching to my screen. So really important, notice how I cut it out in the middle of this sheet, all right? I didn't cut it on the edge, I cut it out in the middle so that I have plenty of room around my stencil, okay? So this thing's going to get attached now to the back of my screen, shiny side against the back of your screen. If you have lots of little hanging bits or little floating bits, all right, how are you going to deal with those? My immediate go-to is your glue stick. So you each get a glue stick. This is a water-based glue stick. If you have those little details, those little floating details on the shiny side, just put a little bit of glue, and that will help stick them to the screen.
Does it affect the ink?
Ink's going to help stick your stencil to the screen as well. This is just a security, all right?
Sure.
A little extra security, all right? And I'll be doing this one more time this afternoon. So if anyone wants to come back at 3 o'clock, I'm going to be doing this again. So now I'm taking this whole sheet and I'm putting it right in the center of my screen, okay? All right? And I'm just going to lightly rub down the glue stick area. At this point, I'm going to take my tape, and you can take this wonderful magic glue tape and just secure the stencil to the screen. I've got another glue tape ready to go. So you don't want your stencil popping off your screen. As soon as the ink hits it, like in that video, it does suck it to the screen. But I'm going to enforce that just a little bit. All right. I've never done such a fast demo. Okay, so I just use little pieces of tape to enforce it. If you have any yellow screen showing through in your margin, you do want to tape that off. I'd be very careful. Let me know. There's some chat coming in, folks. I'm too far away from the screen to read a chat, but you can just speak up. All right? This thing's gonna annoy the stuff out of me. Okay, so my first paper stencil is ready to print. That's the back of the screen. This is the front of the screen, okay? So this is the squeegee side, ready to print, all right? One thing that you want to do that's going to be very helpful for you is to take your blue tape and mask off your gutters, all right? So take strips of blue tape and mask off your gutters, just like you saw in those videos. This is going to prevent the ink from pushing under the screen into the frame, all right? So it's a good practice. So we'll do that. Now printing. Printing. Let me check the chat real quick. I think we have one comment. Yeah, folks, you can hang out after class if you need to talk, all right? All right, so you're all